Is your affixed weapon not hitting hard enough? Feeling like your DPS is slapping damage across the enemy's face? Wanna do big boy damage like this?
Damn, boy!
Okay, but why should I bother fixing my gear though?
I'm glad you asked. Hello, my fellow ARKS OPS. PSO God here with an Augment in-depth video.
Oh no! Why are you running?
Hey, you knew this was coming. To acquire such power, of course, most players know about Pure Stat Mag, class combos, Alliance Tree Buff, Shift to Drink, Franca's Cafe to consume Stir Fry. Yes, Stir Fry is just an example, please calm your tits. And your augmented gear. In this video, we'll talk about affixing your gear and what would be best for your playstyle. If you ever wanted or was curious about augment affixing, then you clicked on the right video. I will try my best to point out the obvious questions about the matter and equip you with the knowledge about the subject. So before we start, I'm gonna need an additional person. This is Camilla-Chan.
Hey boo!
Okay.
Camilla-Chan wants to push out more damage because the weapon they have isn't strong enough. But by the stroke of luck blessing him, with the 13 star, he bought it for 200k, hell I would too. We will be affixing the Form Zapper. So what would you like to put on your Form Zapper, friend?
Okay, so I'm gonna put Modulator, Vicolum, ARKS Max, and have Mark Courage. That would be perfect, right?
Fortunately, that's enough. Modulator, Vincolum, and ARKS Max cannot be applied to your gear together. Only one of the augments you wish to put on your main gear can occupy a slot. The same augments like Flit, Alter, and Stigma also follows the occupy slot rule. As for the Mark series augments, those can only be found on special weapons once you appraise them. Granted, they are not transferable. Yet. Now, for the 13 star Form Zapper, he only have 2 augments on it. So with the resources he currently have on him, our goal is to go for a comfortable sweet spot for how many augments for the main weapon, which he's going for 5 augments.
Why should I bother upslotting my gear?
Well, most augments in the game, more on the way, are quite wonderful and good to have, but you can only have up to 8 slots. Some players are alright with having 3 to 4 augments or 5 to 6. It's all up to you on what you are comfortable with going for. Most players upslot their gear for many reasons. Some want to do more damage, some want more stamina, others prefer a large PP pool, and some player augments for survivability. You even got some that'll go for 8 slots during boost week.
Why is it that upslotting decreases my augment success rate?
Good question. Upslotting is a scary thing, and there's a chance that the augments you choose stays or the fact they fail. In order to augment affix, the numbers you see on the right side of the weapon in units must be the same or higher. And note, when affixing, weapons can be affixed for weapons and units for units. When affixing, it's possible on the base item to increase when using the extra slot. However, there's a penalty, I'm afraid. Each time you use the extra slot, which is shown here, all augments will be lowered by a certain percentage depending on the number of augments. This chart here, the site and such will be linked below, shows how much it decreases when upslotting. When we choose the main gear and choosing one piece of gear as fodder for upslotting to your main gear, the percentage decrease follows the material chart on the left, and having 2 or more fodder pieces follows the material chart on the right.
So I noticed that some augments are not guaranteed. How can I fix that?
Easy, friend. Though there are some augments that are not guaranteed, there are ways that you can increase the augment success rate. Having the same gear name / rarity will increase the success rate by a small amount. However, this will be rendered useless if a different piece of gear is in the material item list. Another way to increase your augment success rate is by having the same tier augment. maximized by having 3 of the same tier augments. Another method everyone knows about are augmentation aids. When you're about to finalize your gear, depending on the decreased state your augments of choice is in, augmentation aids can boost the augment chance to succeed on your main gear. Currently in the NA version, you have access to the following augmentation aids: 5, 10, 20%, which is alright and it is good to have. If it guarantees your success rate, by all means. 30% or 40% to choose from. Far as the 30 and 40%, you can go up to the shopping area and up the stairs. You can even use the launch pad to get there to the XQ trade shop. So, plan out the augments you want. Use tier 1 augments that are 100% to upslot for the desired slots you are comfortable with. 1 to 3 slots are easy to make, whereas 4 slots and up, this becomes useful.
Hold on. I see casting 4 on here, and I know I don't have that on my fodder weapon. Please explain.
Absolutely. This method is quite useful for what I'm about to tell you. For example, if you have 2 copies of casting 3, the tier 4 augment casting 4 will be available, but at a low success rate. Having 3 copies of tier 3 augments will increase the success rate, but we can increase the success rate a bit more. For what I've experienced, if you have 3 of the same tier 3 augments with mutation 2 in the material item list, this will increase the success rate. Mutation 2 boosts tier 4 augments that are not present on your gear, which comes in handy. Speaking of augment tiers, most tier 1 augments like might and toughness are at 100%. The max tier augments in the NA version are tier 5 augments, and with some tier 6 augments like Spirit 6 being locked behind a 13-star slave series weapons. For example, most tier 1 augments like might, precision, casting, stamina are at 100%. Those are perfect and considered junk when upslotting your main gear or in general until you do your final fix. This is most helpful when upslotting, whereas for weapons they have access to Augment Factors.
Wait, Augment Factors?
Indeed. Most weapons you find and acquire, their level cap will be at level 30. However, 13-star weapons that you find during Expedition, Ultimate Quests, and Urgent Quests have their level caps at level 35. As for the weapon rarity that are 1 to 12 stars from the Expedition and such, and some 13 stars from the unique weapon badge shop for example, these types of weapons, the level caps will be at level 30. To acquire the Augment Factors on the weapon must be enhanced to level 35. To increase the level cap, for example, have the weapon of course. Then the only thing that is left is to farm for that same weapon 5 more times. Or you can just simply buy from other players. We've all did that. And start enhancing. Once finished, the Augment Factor will be available when affixing. Of course, if you're curious on what weapon has the Augment Factor you're looking for, I will provide the link below. Granted, there is more Augment Factors on the way. That way, you know what weapon to farm for, max enhance the weapon, then prepare to affix upslot to how many augment slots you are going for.
I got one too many augments I want on my gear, but I could only choose 5 fodder pieces. What do I do? Please explain. Explain!
Sure thing. If there's one too many augments, simply plan ahead of what augments you want on your gear. If you want Mastery 3 for example, have the following augments: Might, Precision, and Casting 3, or using Toughness, Reflex, and Genius 3 is also an alternative, all in one gear. If you have spare Doom Breaks laying around, this augment boosts Mastery 3 success rate, I believe by 20%, which is a total whopping of 80% success rate. But wait, there's more! After testing on my side of affixing for curiosity's sake, Mutation, Mastery, and Doom Break can be on one fodder piece, if you choose.
But wait, I've seen souls you cannot get through normal means. Please explain.
You're right, friend. Certain souls can't be acquired through normal means and must be created from other souls in the material list. For this example, if an episode 4 boss like Full Vegas or Eastern Soul is in the material list with an episode 1 boss like Quartz, Fang, or Snow Soul, this will create the following souls to choose from: Acto D, Tier D, Magi D, and Alex D Soul. If you have full Vegas and Eastern Soul in the material list instead, this will create Aether Soul. Oh boy. Now, for Aether Soul and Astral Soul. For what I'm about to inform you, some players try their luck with creating these special augments, and others wait for boost week. Special augments like Aether Soul, which Aether Soul is needed to create Aether Factor. Just like 4 Soul Catalysts plus Darkness Soul to create Astral Soul, you will need 4 Factor Catalysts plus Aether Soul to create Aether Factor. Luckily, for the weapons category, having a level 35 ray weapon has Astral Soul as an augment factor. Imagine creating this for units. It's a pain, but it is worth it. Also, if you notice, special augments like Soul Catalyst and Aether Soul are at a whopping 10%, and there's no way around it. Using augmentation aids along with waiting for boost week if you choose to affix would be your best bet. However, if you're happy to roll with 4 slots on your gear, for example, this handy item, Augments Insurance, will be your saving grace. So even if the augments fail, your fodder gear will be returned to you. Of course, the item and Meseta will be consumed. This works for any gear that has 4 slots or less.
Are augments that important?
For your playstyle, yes. If you're a player that gets down a lot, dodge for the love of Shion! Focus on augments like Gemini Soul, affix augments that is HP or PP, which is Noble Stamina for example, and build around bulk and survivability. If you want more PP pool, most boss souls have PP increase. Other augments like Flit and Center Series augments increases PP and also damage. Again, with weapons, they are easy to do and final affix on your main gear. As for units, they're pricey. But as long as you have the Meseta or the augment resources, by all means, and remember to plan ahead. And lastly, did you know certain souls boost certain augments?
Wait, certain souls boosted certain augments? Show me the whip.
Absolutely. Most augments will increase in succeeding by having certain souls in the material list. What soul boosts what, I'm sure you're asking. This site here will inform you on what will boost the succession for certain augments you're going for. Please note that these souls does not boost tier 4 augments and up, however. Now that we have the acquired knowledge for affixing, let's affix this bad boy. Now you have the knowledge on affixing. From upslotting to have a number of augments, and certain augments like Flit requires 3 to appear in the material list. If you don't understand, watch the video one more time. And with that, this concludes today's video. If this was helpful to you, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment below if I missed anything. If your friends would like to learn about affixing, share this video with them. I also want to make an announcement. This channel has grown and we are now at 67 subscribers. This means a lot and I thank you all for showing some love and support. Hell, I may even create a schedule to start streaming. If the channel gets over 75 subs, then I will create one. Until then, my fellow ARKS Ops, take care.